Hey everybody, and welcome to Heilman Haver in the Mix. It is the season of awards and film festivals, so today we've got a special edition of In the Mix for you, featuring a cocktail from none other than the Cannes Film Festival in France.
Yes, the Legrand Fizz.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so the idea behind the cocktail was the makers, Grey Goose Vodka, sponsor of the film festival, wanted to come up with a film festival-ish drink or award season type drink. So spritzes were kind of already, monopolized all over the place. So they wanted to create something that was like a spritz, like a champagne, but maybe just a little bit different, and obviously vodka-based. So we've the Legrand Fizz, and there's a few variations. This is vodka, Elderflower Liqueur, lime juice, and Perrier. So you can probably use the sparkling mineral water of your choice. San Pellegrino is one of my favorites, but Perrier is good enough. So what we do with this is we take a Cabernet Sauvignon glass. Much more French than that.
I was gonna say, everything's French tonight.
Yeah, so we take our vodka. So we'll start with that. So these are big glasses. I'm gonna double these up. So each drink is 1.5 ounces of vodka. So I'm going to throw 3 ounces of vodka in each.
No complaints here.
Yeah, we'll do that here. So it's cans. Cans?
It's Cannes, yeah. We'll talk about the pronunciation first, because this is something that I think most people stumble over. Cans are what you find in a six-pack, okay? Cannes is the bad guy from Star Trek. Cannes is the city in the south of France, famous for its film festival. So Cannes. Do what you will with the French accent. Cannes. French pronunciations are Cannes, but I'm not that fancy. I've got the beret. That's as far as I go.
So we're adding the Elderflower Liqueur here. So like I said, we're doubling it up. So I'm putting 2 ounces in each glass.
Now, Elderflower Liqueur is something we used in our last episode with the Bijou, right?
Yes.
Where we're celebrating the anniversaries for MASH, the movie and TV show.
Yep.
It's something I haven't really had before, but it's pretty tasty and very fragrant.
Yes, definitely. Lime juice, pre-squeezed. Save the trouble of having to actually cut and squeeze limes. And then we kind of swirl this up, and then we top it with our chilled Perrier.
Perrier.
This kind of gives us
We'll get a whole lot more French than Perrier.
the bubbly part of this drink. And all of a sudden we've increased our tax bracket.
Right.
All right.
All right, cheers.
Legrand Fizz. Definitely taste the elderflower.
Yeah, which is nice. The definitely overpowers the vodka. And you don't taste a lot of the lime either, but it gives us a nice fruity fragrance and an aftertaste. That's really good and very refreshing.
Yeah.
On a hot day in the south of France, a few of these would be great. Delicious.
Probably gotta watch yourself though.
Yeah, probably. We're gonna take it easy on this one. So it's not quite season yet for the Cannes Film Festival. It's generally in May. Unfortunately, this year things have been pushed off into July, so we'll have to wait. And more so than even a competition, like say the Academy Awards, etc. Cannes is generally used as, or generally seen as, kind of an introductory film festival. This is what's out there this year, and you see a lot of films that may not circulate to the United States in the film festival, and it's a great way to see, and it's also all genres, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because there's Cannes, Toronto Film Festival, there's Sundance, there's any number of film festivals, and it's interesting to see which ones go to which, but Cannes is usually the one when you see a lot of these, like you said, introductions, a lot of documentaries, things like that start there, that you eventually see in the theaters maybe a year down the line, and then maybe you see them at the Oscars after that, but it's a good launching point.
Yeah, it is, and it's almost rare to see something that's, I would quote unquote mainstream, win a lot of acclaim at Cannes. It's more so known for those indies and the documentary type films. In fact, like you mentioned, there are a lot of film festivals happening, well, this time of the year, but maybe not. It's considered one of the big three of the European film festivals. So the other two are the Venice Film Festival and then the Berlin International Film Festival that also happen across the pond. A little bit of history about the Cannes Film Festival. It was supposed to start in 1939, but due to the war, it was actually launched later. Not until 1946 in September did the first official festival take place, and it was the first great international film festival after the Second World War. So it's also been featured in a lot of films. A total, I think, of 12 films. Including What Just Happened by Barry Levinson and Femme Fatale by Brian De Palma. And one of my favorites, Mr. Bean used the Cannes Film Festival in the second series of his adventures, Mr. Bean's Holiday, which is a fun one. And quite a few scenes at the film festival there. So, and the Palme d'Or, or the Golden Palm, which is the award given out at Cannes, was created in 1955, so a few years after the original, the festival originated. The festival organizers asked jewelers to compete for the creation of the trophy. Lucien Lazon's design was chosen. And then since 1997, Swiss company Chopard has been in charge of manufacturing the award. They're a beautiful little award.
Yeah, yeah.
And the regular population of Cannes, because it is just a town in South France, except for one part of the year, it's inhabited by about 73,700 inhabitants, but swells to over 200,000 during the festival.
Yeah, that's one of those like Monaco. That's kind of, principality, and then when the Formula One race shows up, it's just hundreds of thousands of people just descend on the town.
Yeah, if you'd like more information, a couple of great websites. Cannes Guide, so CANNES guide.com is a great resource. And then I found a fun page on the Hollywood Reporter site, and it's Cannes 70 Memorable Moments. So if you just Google that, it's like the 70 top most memorable, crazy moments of things that happened at the festival, and a lot has. Everything from terrorist attacks to, just celebrity insanity on the carpet kind of a thing. And speaking of the carpet, the legendary 24 steps walked by the world's top celebrities requires 60 meters, do the math, Americans, of carpet, and it's changed out 3 times a day for the duration of the film festival.
Wow.
So maybe we'll get there one day. We can, do a little in the mix
on
the spot.
Take it international.
That's right. So speaking of film festivals, the West Sound Film Festival just finished up, was it 2 weekends ago?
Yeah.
And
29th through 31st of January.
Right. And we were lucky enough to speak to Amy Cool, organizer of the festival. And you handled the documentaries, feature film, did some experimental stuff. I watched all the comedies.
Yeah. It was interesting enough. I thought, well, this is going to be virtual, so we'll be able to watch everything. And again, I imagine when you go, and I've never been to a film festival before, but I imagine there's some choices you have to make about what you want to go see, because there's things playing simultaneously at different venues. The West Sound Film Festival was, if it was in person, you'd have things at the Roxy, you'd have things somewhere else, all going on at the same time, and you can't see everything. So I found that I still had to make choices because there's only so much time in a day. There's life and there's other stuff. So you kind of go through the categories of what you are most interested in, what you want to see. So I chose documentaries. I was really curious, as I said in some of our other videos, about the experimental stuff.
Right.
And then I checked out a couple of the features, and you did the comedy.
Yeah, the off-the-wall comedy. In fact, when we were speaking with Amy, she'd only spent a few minutes with us, but already she could peg me as the off-the-wall comedy guy. So I don't know what that says, but I enjoyed them. There was quite a variety from what I would call almost experimental, 1-minute type, really short films to 16-ish minute, more long-form feature type comedies. And the one that I really enjoyed, well, there's two really. If you're a fan of like documentary type shorts, if you can find it, track it down. It's called Living with Musicians, directed by Philip Edge. Really, really funny lead actor in this one. It's about a guy who has a disorder that causes him to experience life like a musical. And we all think it would be cool to have, soundtrack music for what's going on in our life, but the musicians actually follow this poor guy around. And he starts to lose it. But there's a lot of very sympathetic looks into the camera, a la The Office. And a lot of fun. And then the other one that I really liked was called Shuttlecock, a rather suggestive name, rather suggestive film. We'll just say it's about badminton. So it's a young lady loses her opportunity to play badminton in the Olympics, and seeks her revenge. So not one to watch with the kids, but really funny. Hilarious lead actress, Rona Reese, and then a young lady, Audrey Smallman, who kind of plays the kid, the conscience of this athlete. So Winnie Callahan puts the bad in badminton. So check that one out. I'm sure you can find some of this stuff on YouTube and find the trailers at least. I know that some of the films aren't available in wide circulation right now, but some of these I'm sure are.
And Shuttlecock won.
It won, yes.
For best comedy
yes,
short?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yep. Very well produced. You could tell that there's a very large team on that film as well. So.
Yeah. Well, that's, going to the documentary side. I think when you go to look at documentaries, what I like to see is, first of all, you got to learn something. It's got to teach you something that you didn't already know. And all of the documentaries did that in the blocks. But then you look at production quality and how they tell the story. And there were some that were leagues above others. In fact, the very first one in the first documentary block was This Being Human. And I remember watching that. It was about an Iraqi dissident comes over to the United States and trying to find his way. And I thought, well, how's anything going to top this? Because this was really well done. Production quality was top notch. And of course, it won the award. So it was the first one I watched, and then nothing else necessarily. I mean, they were all good. In fact, the one I think I found the most fascinating, growing up on the East Coast, I didn't know much about the rock and roll scene of the Seattle or Tacoma area. I knew a lot about the Philadelphia history, Frankie Avalon and all those guys. But Tacoma, there's a documentary about Tacoma's rock and roll history, and the band The Ventures, who wrote the theme for Hawaii Five-0.
Right, sure.
And
surf band.
And a bunch of really influential groups came out of the area, which I hadn't known about. So the documentaries did what they advertised. I learned something. There were some that were really good. I mean, they were all good, but some where you can tell what's kind of top notch.
Well, and it's an international film festival, so there's stuff from all over the world, which is pretty cool. And they're getting reset now for the 2021 festival. This was the 2020 festival that was delayed due to COVID, and it all took place virtually, which I thought was really cool. There was no charge, and everything was available on Vimeo and really easy to find. They were all essentially just all in one video, so you could just choose whatever genre you wanted. And that made it really easy for people to take part. Another nod to just kind of the challenges that a lot of artists are facing.
Yeah, and one thing I was concerned about, because I'd never watched anything through Vimeo, was how am I going to watch this on my television? Because it's on, you can go on the computer, blah blah blah, but you can AirPlay it from your tablet or your phone to your TV if you've got an Apple. Or I'm sure there's the Google, Android equivalent.
No, there's something.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So
when in doubt, HDMI cable.
Yeah, so it was nice to be able to to watch those. And I was a little bit worried about that, but it works seamlessly. And the features. There was one other one that I wanted to note, which won the best sound design, The Big Nothing, which was kind of a noirish, mystery / suspense / kind of fantasy-ish film or supernatural film. So it combined a bunch of stuff. But I thought it was really well done, and definitely sound design worthy of that award.
And speaking of sound design, hope you guys will all tune in to our most recent episode, launching February 12th with
Nick Dolan,
right, composer. And just all-around musician aficionado. He's done a lot. He's worked with a ton of people, Paramount Pictures and E! And Comedy Central, or Cartoon Network, a ton of other very reputable names in the entertainment business. And we had a great time talking to Nick. He's very knowledgeable, and he's going to be one of our returning cast of characters on the show, especially when it comes to music and scoring films. So a lot of fun to talk to him, especially, again, coming into award season. For any would-be filmmakers out there, and we know that you're watching, submissions are now being accepted for the 2021 West Sound Film Festival. You can submit your film at www.filmfreeway.com/West Sound Film Festival, or just go ahead and jump on their Facebook page at West Sound Film Festival for more information. So they're already prepping. We're hoping that this will be able to be live, centered around the Roxy Theater in Bremerton, of course. And if not, we'll be back on Vimeo, but we're hoping it's going to be live.
Yeah,
this time.
if it's live, I mean, we want to see if we can set up a booth. You know, bring director interviews, some live feeds from the festival. That's what we had planned for this one.
Yeah.
But you know, things happen, and we end up doing everything virtual. But we adapt, and it went really well, I think. So what was it, over 1,000 people?
1,000 views,
Yeah.
and all over the world. They put up a graphic of all the different kinds. I mean, and it truly is an international festival. So kudos to Amy Cool and the rest of the crew at the Roxy, and it's just great to see these things. This is a common theme on Heilman and Haver, and the reason Heilman and Haver exists at all is the things that artists are doing during quarantine to keep this community going. I think is a perfect example of it. So we're hoping the 2021 Film Festival will happen in 2021 and hopefully be in person so we can get together and you know, enjoy these films you know, in person, and yeah, hopefully we'll be there and bringing you guys more of In the Mix, etc. So cheers again.
Okay.
Film festival season.
Yep.
Tune in February 12th, Nick Dolan, and stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more In the Mix episodes. Thanks for watching, and
All right. Cheers.
enjoy.
Legrand Fizz.
Legrand indeed.